Hey everyone, this is Josh with Josh Wright Piano TV. I was talking with a close friend the other day. His name's Isaac, and he asked me to do a video specifically on Franz Liszt's La Campanella, or the Paganini Etude number 3. There is a lot of technical question when this piece is presented, and this was really the discovery of a lot of new technique for me in my own playing. As I learned this piece, I had to really reinvent a lot of my technique to be able to adapt to be able to play this piece. I'm just going to go over a few tips for different technical aspects of this piece. The first thing that this piece has a lot of is skips. So you can see that all over the place, and especially right here. You're going back and forth. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how you can improve that first. Things that I like to do is obviously put rhythms to it. So that you're always going down to that lower note, and then the opposite as well. Sorry. And that's actually pretty difficult, but it really helped me to get it pretty smooth as I practiced over and over again, and actually a lot of eyes closed as well. So and I think you have to have an absolutely light wrist, just hitting back and forth. If you have a tight wrist, it immediately makes you less accurate. A lot of people think, oh, if I'm more in control, I'm more accurate. It's actually the opposite. If you are just nice and loose rather than really tight, feeling in control, loose means that you're more in control because your hand's able to move more freely. The next part of this piece that really presented me with difficulty is a lot of little groups of 16th or 32nd notes. So after the closing of the very first presentation of the theme, we see, it's been a while since I've played this. So how do we get those so quick? Because they're moving da-da-da-dum-bum, da-da-da-dum-bum. It's going so fast that really there's not enough time for high fingers or anything. So what I did is I would just do just that little group until it's perfect, and then this group. So and every time, see, it's a struggle. Like that middle one for me is the hardest. So I just practice that over and over again until it's absolutely perfect. The same thing is on this part, where those are going up. Just to get those absolutely clear, so you're not going and not having every note come out. One thing I like to do with repeated notes that are really fast, rather than doing the rhythm that I did before, and then I'm going to do something a little different with those repeated notes. I've thought a lot about the physics behind this, and what's quicker, to have all fingers lined up in a row and just strike down like that, so they're kind of just in a straight line down and you just kind of stroke it like that, or is it better to move side to side? And I actually found that side to side works better. So your wrist stays in the same position and your fingers stay at the same height. You just move slightly to the right. That helped me get a lot clearer. So just, now I put that small rhythm to it until I could hear every note. And again, loose fingers here are critical, because if not, you're not going to release quick enough. So let's see. You see the same thing on the triplets section, where you have. One thing I like to do there is the hardest part is to not let it sound like this, with notes not coming out and with a lot of inaccuracies. So I'd put this rhythm to it. Sorry, this is extremely hard for me too. So just over and over again until you could really feel. I've been out of practice, so those aren't perfectly clear, at least with this piece. I've been working on a lot of Chopin stuff lately. Okay, another hard place is this. Because you're shaking, what I like to do is I like to shake back and forth. I like to practice it by itself, the trill on top, until that's really clear. And I like to practice the bottom notes by itself. Because that's really difficult. So I like shaking back and forth rather than just trying to finger it out. And you mess up a lot. But going back and forth helps me a lot. Finally, I want to talk about octaves and how to make repeated octaves quicker. A lot of people can do octaves in succession well, but when it comes to repeated octaves, it gets a little vertical and a little harsh. You end up wasting a lot of effort on being too loud. And I remember I did it was kind of like just a mini lesson. We did a combined performance together. I played with Stanislav Udanich, just for a little group of friends, and I guess it was his donor, and he was friends with one of my church friends, and so we got together one night, and I just was asking him all these questions because his technique is flawless. He won the Van Cliburn, I think, in the year 2000 or around that time, and I was saying, how do you make your octaves so incredibly clear? He played the Petrushka suite, and they were just absolutely amazing. And he said, rather than doing quick little wrist motions like this, I like to do one hand motion like that. So you kind of shake your hand down, and so you hit multiple octaves in one motion. See, that's one motion rather than so. So you can see how clear that sounds. Just to go, and I would just practice that over and over again until that feels absolutely clear, and you're able to do a big sequence of them in a row. So, and that just takes a lot of slow practice, detailed work. I know I'm crashing through all these concepts, but I wanted to include pretty much everything I could with this video. The last page presents a really difficult left hand. Octaves going up. The thing you have to think about, there's so much going on. This might be frowned on by many, but I like to cheat a little bit there. And I like to just take octave, single note, octave. Because you still have the bass note, so you're not losing the bass. Sorry, this is terrible. Okay. Hope this has been helpful. I know it's been a quick video to be able to get through all those concepts, but that has been La Campanella by Franz Liszt, a few of the things that have helped me. I hope they are able to help Isaac and whoever else is working on this piece, because this is a tough one. Thanks for joining me today.